What's going on, guys? Picks here, bringing you another squad builder on FIFA 21. And now this is the squad I used in the very first FUT Champs of this year. And I can't say that I can recommend it based on my performance, but I would definitely say that was down to me and me alone, because this team was actually very good. But I was only able to place gold 3 this weekend with two matches remaining, so I didn't even have a chance at getting gold 2. This is like for sure one of the worst showings I've had in FUT Champs in a very long time, but it was the first FUT Champs of the year, and I'm still actually getting used to the gameplay. The gameplay to me is so weird. I feel like the meta is just drop back, have your whole team back, and then quickly counterattack every single time. That's what I noticed, and a lot of ridiculous bounces and shit. I don't know. The game is just weird. But I still recommend the team, honestly. But our goalkeeper was good. Goalkeepers are terrible this year because EA doesn't know how to do goalkeepers. That's just a fact. They suck. Then our center backs were excellent. De Ligt and Diego Carlos, both very, very, very good center backs. De Ligt was awesome. He wasn't too quick, but I've got a shadow for him. And he wasn't getting caught out for pace too often. He was actually outpacing a lot of really quick forwards at times. And whenever he's in front of you, it's really hard to get by him. Whenever you go shoulder to shoulder, he usually wins the ball. He's an absolute tank. Really, really good, honestly. And Diego Carlos was probably the best center back I've used all year. Fast, strong, and great defensively. It's all you really need. And he had great positioning. Honestly, both center backs were amazing. Definitely the best duo I've used all year. Then our fullbacks, we have Alexandro and Jesus Navas. Both great offensively, especially Jesus Navas. I actually set him to come forward a little bit. At times, I think I set him to balanced, I believe, so he'd actually make runs forward, but then I had to switch it back because you get caught out so much on the wings this year, so I had to keep my fullbacks back, and I will show you guys the custom tactics I use for this team. But Jesus Navas was very, very good. I was kind of worried with the strength that he would get bodied off the ball too often, but he actually wasn't bullied. His defensive abilities were amazing. He actually had really good tackling and great pace and awesome stats to get up the wings and get assists here and there too. And Alexandro, I was worried about him just because the pace. Everything else looks great like usual, but I was honestly not let down by him. He was pretty damn good. He wasn't getting burnt too often for pace. I think EA might have decreased the effectiveness of pace and acceleration in this game in their last patch, because I noticed I'm not getting burnt so often, and I'm not able to burn my opponent so often these days just by running in a straight line, which I guess is a good thing. So yeah, Alexandro was really good, honestly. And our two center mids, we have Emre Can and Casemiro. Casemiro was our CDM of the team, obviously staying back with those stats. Offensively, you don't want him going forward too much. Can't really finish either, and with those defensive stats and physical stats, you want him back as much as possible. We bought him with a shadow on him. He was excellent. Like, defensively, you cannot go wrong with this guy, and physically, he wins pretty much any challenge that he goes into. Just he was a little bit slow and sluggish, and going forward, you really don't want him coming forward too much. He is a liability. But Emre Can, he was our balanced CDM of the team. I mostly use this team in the 4-4-2 or the 4-2-3-1. I will show you guys the custom tactics in a bit. But Emre Can being our balanced center mid, I wasn't really sure of what to expect out of him. But man, he surprised me with how well he can actually get forward and score goals. His dribbling wasn't bad either. I got him with a catalyst, and I honestly think that's the best chem style to put on him. It gives him a nice boost to his passing, of course, but it's mostly the pace that you want to boost on him. And with that pace upgrade, man, he actually felt quick. He wasn't too bad on the ball. When you get him in front of goal, he can actually bang them in. He has a pretty damn good finish, and he got a better goal and assist record than one of my forwards. So I mean, you take with that as you will. With the medium-high work rates, I wasn't sure how much he would actually come forward, because I had him on balance. I thought maybe he would stick back a little bit, and honestly, at times those work rates, I do prefer high on my balanced center mids. But honestly, I was not disappointed with how he contributed to the attack. And as you see there, I just had to run through his whole team there. Run through your whole team with Emre Can, and then he puts it away so easily. Yeah, man, this card, excellent. And he's so cheap now too. I think he's under 2,000 coins, which is ridiculous, man. This card is crazy. The market is absolutely screwed these days. Players like Emre Can already are going for under 2,000 coins. So yeah, you cannot go wrong with this player. Scored me some really nice goals. The finishes that he got from me, man, he just has an absolute cannon on that right foot. And you saw that first goal he scored too. Just crazy finishing on him. I love this card. He's excellent. Fucking great player. And then at the cam spot, as you will see in a second. We have the perfect link to Emre Can, as you would assume. Not Brandt, we're actually using Reus. Brandt is very good. I've used him, but Reus, I had to use him this time. He just looks really good for this game. Not the greatest pace, but having 90 plus pace isn't the make or break this year. It really isn't. 80 pace is enough, especially with the engine chem style, which I bought him with. And I feel like that's the chem style you probably want to use on him. You boost the long passing on him. You boost the, I believe, short passing too, the vision. You get the dribbling stats nice and high. And you get the pace relatively high as well, and his shooting stats are already so good you don't really need to touch those whatsoever. And as you'll see, he scored me a lot of goals just like that. His finesse shots are absolutely out of this world, just like every single year. Reus, every year without fail, is just one of the best finesse shot takers in the game. Every single year he is for me, and this year is no different. As you see right there, like, look at that finish as it glitches out, man. Like, for some reason, the best goals I scored with this team, the clips glitched out, but you got to see the ball go in the back of the net at least, and that was like the game-winning goal there. Like a beautiful finish. Their keeper didn't even move, and he just has the craziest finishes. One of the best finishers I've used all year for sure so far is Reus. I would honestly recommend him just for his goal scoring ability, and majority of the time I was actually using him as a secondary striker to our main striker up front as a with the false 9 instructions, and it worked so well. He dropped back into the midfield, picked up the ball, played more like a playmaker more than anything, but he also got in front of goal and scored so many nice, beautiful goals. I'm a huge fan of this card. His dribbling was good, but at times, for some reason, even with the edge and chem style, it could just be an issue with the game that I have with the dribbling still. But his dribbling sometimes felt a little bit stiffer than you would expect, but it really wasn't anything serious. His physicality, I wasn't really too bothered by it. Maybe sometimes if you get into extra time with him in FUT Champs, he would sort of kind of die off in terms of stamina, but only really in extra time. I didn't find that to be an issue in normal time whatsoever. Passing was great. His long passing was excellent. He was just a phenomenal playmaker for real. Like, honestly, a perfect cam. And I could go for a little bit more pace, honestly. At times the pace was a little bit of an issue. Maybe he would make a run in behind and he wouldn't be able to fully make the run and make it to goal before he gets caught up by a defender. But it really depends on who you're going up against and what's going on in that match, really. Because there were times where he would get caught up by a center back who you wouldn't think would, and times when he would just absolutely burn a center back or even a fullback that is way faster than him even. So it's just inconsistent with this game in terms of the pace. The pace is really weird, but look at this build up here, and then a great finish. Man, the build up on this team between our striker and Reus was just wonderful. You'll see some more of that when I talk about our striker in a little bit. But yeah, Reus just scored me so many class goals. It's hard to fit all of them in here. I fit as many as I possibly could. And I think I honestly put too many because I'm running out of shit to say about Reus. Just get him. He's excellent. This card is actually phenomenal. He's not as fast. Obviously, that pace downgrade might turn some people off because he is known for being that fast player every single year, that fast, overpowered player. He's slower now. You might just have to use him a little bit differently. He is more of an attacking mid now more than ever. Before, you could use Reus really anywhere on the wing as a striker, but now he's pretty much a playmaker. But look at some of the runs he makes, man. Just perfect positioning. I loved him, seriously. Buy this goddamn card. This card was excellent. Put the engine chem style on him, you will not be disappointed whatsoever. Another finesse shot from him. You cannot go wrong with his finishing. It's the best aspect of the card by far. His finishing was just excellent. He is a premier finisher in this game. You'll love him if you can deal with a not slow, but I guess not a fast cam. You know what I mean? But look at that pass from our striker to Reus there. I'm avoiding saying his name because I haven't revealed him yet, but I'm sure you saw the name in the bottom corner of the screen anyway, so you know who our striker is, but we'll talk about him in a bit. And our two wingers, we have the Brazilians. We have Douglas Costa at Bayern Munich now, and we have Lucas. Now, Lucas was the most expensive player on this entire team. Ignore the prices. I did lose coins on the team, but I sold it a while ago, so the price of this team has come down a lot since I bought it. The market, for some reason, has just been panicking like crazy. But Lucas, I was expecting more out of him, to be honest, but he was still very good. He played his role very well as far as being a fast winger with great dribbling, good playmaker. He's just really good. Except I expected more. You know, for the price tag, I expected him to get more done in terms of goals and assists. And I would say on the whole team, he was the player who would go missing more than anyone else, which was a little bit disappointing. I did want more out of him for the price you pay, especially. I spent 80,000 coins for him. That's the most I've spent on a player all year so far. And I guess I just expected more, but he was kind of invisible at times, especially in comparison to Douglas Costa. Douglas Costa was much better, honestly. But Lucas, when he gets in the positions, he was able to put the ball away. So I don't have many complaints in terms of his finishing abilities. But I do have complaints in terms of his positioning and just his overall presence on the pitch. And look at that finish there. Great finish as it glitches out again. You see the best goals I've scored with this team just glitch out for some reason when I'm editing. And it's so weird. But whatever. You guys saw the ball go in the back of the net. I'm sure you can be satisfied seeing that goal. Lucas was good. But honestly, for the price, you can find much better. But as far as this team goes, he's really the only option you have to fit in the team. So you're going to have to go with him if you're going to build this squad. And Douglas Costa, left winger, amazing card. I was so happy with this card, honestly. Just like Lucas, he didn't get a crazy goal and assist record, but he scored me an amazing quality of goals. Like, look at the positioning there with the 2-star weak foot. I think he has 2. He might have 3-star, but I think he has 2-star. And you saw him with a great finish there inside the box. Honestly, the weak foot is not a make or break thing in this game. It really isn't. You don't need the 5-star weak foot last year, or sorry, like you did last year. For a player to be like elite tier, you honestly don't. Right now I'm using Iñaki Williams on a team, and he is ridiculous, and he only has a 2-star weak foot, and he scores goals with that weak foot. So really, don't write off a player just because of his 2-star weak foot. He can definitely get shit done. And as you just saw right there, one of the best goals I scored all year, that was in foot co-op. And I forgot to mention, a lot of the goals you're going to be seeing here are in foot co-op, because for some reason, it's the only thing that brings me happiness in FIFA right now. Foot Champs just absolutely destroyed me. It made me so angry. So whenever I would get angry at Foot Champs, I would just get my buddy online and play some foot co-op with him. And that was the most fun I've had all year. And as you saw, man, that scorpion kick chip was crazy. It wasn't even scored by me. It was scored by my friend. But I had to include that in here. And I have to include a lot of goals that I scored in foot co-op here, and look at that goal there, man. Oh my god, the 2-star weak foot on the volley, perfect finish, and a great run from Douglas Costa. Man, what a card. The 5-star skills, I don't get too much use out of that because I don't really know how to skill too well in FIFA. But his pace, man, he was blistering. He was always a problem down the wing. His overall wing play was just crazy. And as you see there, look at that work from Richarlison there. Oh, sorry, I mean our striker, we didn't reveal yet, but yeah, I guess you know who he is anyway. But a great bit of dribbling, and then an awesome ball through to Douglas Costa, and a great finish, man. You cannot go wrong with Douglas Costa whatsoever. This card is excellent. I would definitely recommend him. I think he's around 35 to 30,000 coins right now, which is pretty low considering he has great links, plays for a big team, and he has very meta stats. I guess his finishing is the one aspect of his in-game stats that you might be wary of, but I can assure you that's not a big deal. Oh, he actually has a 3-star weak foot. Oh, okay. But yeah, that finishing stat is kind of a lie. He was finishing most of his opportunities in this team. And then we have Richarlison, as you already know, I'm sure. At striker, we were going to go for Gabriel Jesus, but I couldn't afford him at the time. He was a little bit too expensive when I was making this team. You could even go for Firmino if you choose to do so, if you like that card, but he's also kind of expensive. But with Richarlison, I think I bought him for around 14k. He's down to around 10 now, and this card was very good, man. I expected a little bit more out of him in terms of pace because I got him with the Hunter card, and I thought he would feel a lot quicker because I just recently used Romelu Lukaku, and he blew me away with how fast he was with Hunter. And Richarlison wasn't a pace demon like that Lukaku was, but he was still very good. And he offers a lot more than just pace. He has an awesome aerial presence at times. I don't score headers in this game, really. I'm not someone who spams crosses enough to really score too many headers, but he has that in the locker. But what he was mostly good for was his link-up play. I found his link-up play was excellent, especially with Reus. Them two together was like magic. The way that they would pass together and move around each other, it was excellent. The overlaps from each other to support one another was excellent. And you look at that goal there. He scored a couple of chips like that for me. Just the sauciest chips that you can possibly imagine. That's the best way to score in this game, in my opinion, is the chip. It's so satisfying to do. And Richarlison had that. And plus, you can't forget about the 5-star weak foot. The 5-star weak foot is just an asset to have on any player in FIFA. And he has it. So you can't fault him for that. You cannot fault his weak foot. He can score on any foot. You don't have to even think twice about which foot you're shooting on, which is always amazing to have on a striker. A 4-star weak foot as well. And he is a kind of a powerhouse. He's not quite like Lukaku in terms of the powerhouse factor. Like running forward, you hit that top sprint speed with Lukaku, and he is gone. No one is catching him. No one is stopping him. Like, even if you catch him, he keeps the ball at his feet and he muscles off the defender. With Richarlison, wasn't quite as good, but look at that chip. Goddamn. But back to his strength. His strength and aggression were good, but he wasn't like crazy strong. I wasn't overly impressed with how strong he was with his physicality overall, but it was pretty good. And look at that finish from Richarlison, man. His dribbling was quite good, but I wish he was a bit faster, so I could have used a chem style on him that boosted his dribbling a little more, because I feel like with a little smoother dribbling he would have got me even more goals, because there were times where his overall agility and his balance and his elusiveness on the ball was a little bit lacking, but it wasn't anything serious to really hamper the card all that much. But look at the positioning. That was the best aspect of him, honestly. I loved his finishing, his positioning, his overall striker prowess, his ability to get in good positions and then put the ball away was just top notch. I really liked this card. Was he the best striker I've used, or the perfect player? No, not really. But for the price, I mean, since I bought him, I think he's gone down a few K, so you can get him for around 10,000 coins now. For that price, or a BPL Brazilian striker with a 5-star weak foot and some good stats, you really cannot go wrong. He's strong, he's fast-ish, not the fastest, honestly, but good on the ball, great finisher, good link up play. He played some great passes. Like you might have seen it in goals for other players on this team, that he made some pretty beautiful assists for me. And yeah, man, I'm a huge fan of this card. I don't have much more to say about individual players, but I will say go buy this team. I know I didn't finish the greatest with this team, but that's down to me, honestly. That's user error. I'm not the greatest at this FIFA. I'm still learning what's good and what's not. I don't like to follow the quintessential meta of FIFA ever. I like to sort of do my own thing and play my own style. At least I try my best to do it and win games, but honestly sometimes it bites me in the ass, because I get shit on sometimes by people who are just doing the most meta shit you can possibly do, man. Drop back, I feel like, is the meta this year. I don't play that way. Spamming the R1 dribbling is the meta this year. I don't really do that too much either. It's kind of boring for me, but I will say, man, this team was very good. And now I will show you guys the custom tactics, so you can actually get the most out of it, and I guess play the way I did. But I guess based on the finish I got for this team, you might not want to even really use my custom tactics. But yeah, I just showed you the 3-5-2. I didn't really adjust that too much, so the players are kind of out of position in that one. But as you saw there, I have dropped back on. I did have to switch to that in the end. I was playing on balance at the beginning, or I think press on heavy touch, but I did drop back because I was conceding way too many goals, and it made a difference defensively, but offensively it does leave a little bit to be desired. Like playing on drop back and then having your team push forward, especially when you have two center defensive mids who aren't very attacking based, it can be a problem. So I would recommend using the 4-4-2 formation with this team, with Reus as a false 9 and Richarlison as a stay central and get in behind. With your wingers, get in behind and cut inside, and then Emre Can just stay central, everything else balanced, and Casemiro stay central and stay back while attacking. And your fullbacks, you can do what you want with them. If you're going to keep your fullbacks forward, then I would say make your wingers balanced so they can maybe cover sometimes. But it really is up to you. But the 4-4-2 is the way I would recommend playing with this team as your primary formation. But the 4-2-3-1, if you do prefer that formation, then this team has the players to fit each and every position very, very well. So yeah, guys, I'd recommend picking up this team if you got the coins for it. And guys, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.